right. So this is the
Hey,
review of
yep,
Inquisition, Veneration of Medieval Mysticism and Cosmological Violence.
yes. And
Phenomenal
what's
album,
up,
I must say.
everybody? Apologies, but I haven't done the intro. What's up, everyone? Welcome to, what is this? Episode 3 of the Damage Incorporated show. I'm joined by the other Mike, Keen of Sorts. By the way, so continue.
All right, so you want me to do it again? All right,
Go for it.
so this is going to be the review of the new Inquisition album. It is entitled Veneration of Medieval Mysticism and Cosmological Violence. This is their ninth full-length album. Inquisition have been around for many, many years. They formed back in 1990, originally from Colombia. They are a two-piece band consisting of vocalist and guitarist Dagon and the drummer, whose name is Incubus. They originally are from Colombia. They moved to the U.S. Sometime, I believe, in the mid-1990s. So they are situated in Seattle, Washington now and have been for many years. And so, yeah, this is their ninth full-length album. Phenomenal band, beloved by so many black metal fans. I've been a huge fan of theirs for probably, I don't know, about 8 years or so. I do have all their full-length albums and do enjoy their music very, very much. Phenomenal album right here. I will give my final take on it later after we're done discussing it. But yeah, this album came out not that long ago, back in January
Yes.
26th of this year, of course. Released on Agonia Records. It consists of 13 songs, clocks in at about close to 45 minutes. So
Yep.
let's discuss this album. Give me some of your first takes or your initial thoughts about this album.
I think for me, because like I said, this was, I think for me, I listened to this at the beginning when it first came out, and for me, I have not touched this since, due to the fact that I think some people have seen, I've reviewed a lot of other albums and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and some of those I have listened to probably more often than this album, so.
Okay, so I've listened to this album a lot over the past week or so, especially. I've been having it on replay at home, and at work I've been listening to it as well. So I've listened to it quite a lot. So yeah, and have been enjoying it quite a lot as well.
Yeah, let's get into the track by track pretty much. Album opens up with Witchcraft Within a Gothic Tomb, which I've written here. I think a lot of this, and it's a lot of songs. A lot of them are pretty much kind of the same of what you're getting with this band, with the two.
Yeah,
You're getting that symphonic black metal, the croaking or the frog-like vocals, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean there are similar elements throughout this album. But okay, so with this particular song, I'd say it's a strong opener. It's fast and aggressive. It just sort of gets right into it right away. It's definitely more immediate. It introduces those keyboard elements earlier on within the song. It has those distinctive keyboard melodies, which is it's also more atmospheric, especially with those keyboard elements. Of course, they really started doing that on their last album, this one right here, Black Mass for a Mass Grave. And this album right here, which came out back in 2020, that's when they sort of kind of maybe adjusted their style somewhat. And so they sort of continue with that style, I would say, to a large extent. I mean, there's still a lot of those classic Inquisition elements here. But yeah, there's definitely been somewhat of a stylistic change in the recent years. And this album definitely continues with that. So you get a lot of those keyboard elements that really provide a lot of those distinctive melodies and add a lot of the atmosphere and just really fill out the sound a lot more and just provide a more epic type of feel to it. So that song, like the intro song here, definitely brings in a lot of those elements that you see or will hear as the album progresses more. Unique song structure here as well, and you'll hear a lot of different unique song structures throughout the album.
A lot of
unconventional lot of
Yeah, there is
unconventional
some.
type talent.
I'm looking at through these notes and I'm like, okay, yeah, there is still gonna be some of the same and stuff like that, but there are some that I definitely think are gonna be a little bit different than something you would normally get. Like I think we go into this next song, Crown of Light and Constellations, which again is probably the same, but the one difference is there's the spoken word vocals near the end. Cause
Yeah.
it's not because the ending of that one has some spoken word. I feel like it sounded like spoken word.
Yeah, it has more of this and that sort of outro bridge type section that they do. Yeah, he introduces the Gon a different sort of style of vocal because his vocals for the most part have this sort of chanting or croaked type of effect. That's what he's been doing for ages. That's what he's always done, and it works really
Yeah.
well. Like it's not the most unique or dynamic type of vocal, but it just lends itself well to this music. And but in this particular song, the song number 2 here, yeah, he definitely introduces a very unique style of vocal in that sort of bridge or outro type section. Also very catchy. I really like that section quite a lot. But this song, yeah, it's just sort of a continuation of the first song. I would say it's very fast and aggressive as well. A bit darker though. It definitely has more of a moody or a minor key type of feel to it. Yeah, he introduces more of those arpeggio style guitar riffs in here as well. But yeah, I really like this song. It's fast, aggressive. I think it's better structured than the first song, more catchier, I would say, than the first song. This is one of my most favorite songs on this album, so pretty damn good song, I would say. I like this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I, yeah, this one already, I think, already a second song in, and it's like already that's kind of definitely a little bit, I think, to me, a little bit better.
Yeah,
Then we get a hidden ceremony of blood and flesh, and I've written more of the same pretty much of that, what you were describing in the first song, pretty much.
yeah. This song I really like as well. This one's yeah, it's just another very fast, powerful, and aggressive song. But there's more variation in the tempos in this particular song. I would say it's a little bit more dynamic, more varied. You get that really nice guitar overlay in the verse. I really love that guitar, that second guitar part that he does in the verse section. Excellent. And of course, you get that really awesome, very catchy riff in the chorus. Excellent vocals in the chorus as well. So I think this one's pretty catchy as well. The bridge section is more kind of dreamy, slow. You get a lot of those arpeggio style guitar riffs that are very dramatic, and it's just yeah, very nice sounding. So yeah, a bit more varied in terms of tempo and mood. But yeah, I like this one.
Yeah.
It's catchy, it's heavy, but a bit more varied, I would say, than the other
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah, but then we get to one I think I've written down here, and it's like kind of different than what I was expecting. Because
Yeah.
when I was listening to this one, I've written down here, which is force of death is the force of life. I've written down here more death metal than black metal.
Okay, this particular song I'll comment on here. Yeah, definitely more dissonant sounding. It just opens up with this really dark and dissonant, eerie sounding riff. It's just terrorizing. This song is incredibly fast, lots of blasting and just fierce tremolo picking. Definitely less melodic than the other songs on the album. I mean, it's
Oh
just
yeah, because
this
it's
song.
much more, yeah,
Yeah,
much more harsher
yeah. It's
than say. That's
vicious.
where it kind of gave me that death metal vibe a little
Yeah,
bit.
definitely more fierce. Yeah, definitely less melodic, and than the other songs. And with also, there's none of that sort of keyboard elements as well. It's just straight, just heavy guitar riffing, and yeah, lots of blasting. Yeah, it rips pretty hard, that tune. Yeah, pretty good stuff. I like it.
Yeah. Let me get into this. Is another interesting one here. Memories within an empty castle in ruins. And to me, when I was listening to this, and bear in mind, everybody, this was months ago, over a month or so ago. But I've written down here has a summoning slash Kaladin brood like
Yeah,
melody to it.
I think so. It definitely has this more kind of epic, uplifting, kind of major key kind of vibe. Lots of keyboards on this particular track, more so than I would say the other songs on this album. So I understand where you're coming from with that comparison to Summoning and Kaladin Brood.
Kaladin
Yeah,
brood.
you get more variation in terms of tempo. There's more of those long atmospheric type keyboard driven sections. Yeah, and more of a unique song structure here as well. It's just more dynamic and more varied, and just very keyboard driven, with more of that kind of uplifting kind of feel to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much my take on that one.
Yeah. All right, the next song, and this one's gonna kind of come out of left field for me saying this. Next track, Primordial Philosophy and Pure Spirit. The beginning and end to me, because I think I was having trouble figuring this out, and then it dawned on me. I'm like, holy shit, this kind of sounds like the groove, kind of like the whole groove of Pneuma from Tool, from off their most recent album, Fear Inoculum. But the middle part sounded like kind of the same, but just that beginning and end kind of reminded me of Pneuma from Tool a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't really listen to Tool that much anymore, but
yeah, but that I listened to that. I'm like, that kind of sounds like Tool a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. This particular song, this one it's a shorter song. It's pretty catchy though. I mean, you get that lengthier intro with the heavy use of the keyboards in the intro section. Some nice flowing guitar parts, very melodic guitar parts throughout the song. Yeah, pretty good tune, I think. I think it's solid. I mean, not one of my more favorite songs on the album by any means, but still pretty good, memorable song.
Yeah. Yeah, but then we get into Infinity is the Aeon of Satan, and I've written down Bathory style black metal. I mean, which ain't a bad thing when you think of that Bathory style black metal. It just reminded me of that style of black metal that Bathory did when they first started and stuff like that. Those early albums from Bathory.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so you get more of those ominous keyboard type parts within the intro section. That's kind of what I noticed. Very interesting sort of keyboard melody within the sort of intro type section. Again, a very powerful sounding song. It's memorable, catchy, very unique style, very unique chorus. I do enjoy the chorus quite a bit because there's no vocals in the chorus section. Instead, the keyboards sort of take over as sort of being that sort of dominant melody. Excellent bridge and outro section. I think this one's pretty good. Yeah, excellent song. I mean, this whole album is pretty good. So
yeah,
at least I think so.
Okay, yeah. It is getting a little bit more interesting as the album goes on, and then we get to these. I guess these kind of two go hand in hand pretty much. Pathway of Light is a pathway of fire, and Light of My Dark Essence, which I've written down here. Pathway of Light is a pathway to fire. Alternative metal style interlude, and then it kind of continues on the next track, Light of My Dark Essence, which was kind of alter groove metal style, pretty much.
Yeah, to me, this song sort of acts as just sort of like a short sort of bridge section between songs because it's entirely atmospheric, right? Like it's just a very short song that features a lot of these ringing arpeggio style riffs. Lengthy intro, very atmospheric. Yeah, it's just, to me, it just sort of functions as sort of a bridge between songs. Not necessarily one of the more memorable songs in the album. Still very good and essential, though. But that's just sort of my take on that song.
Yeah. Then we get to what I think might be probably, I think, the weakest for me on this album. Track 10. Secrets from the Wizard Forest of Forbidden Knowledge, which I've written here, kind of goes back to
I think you missed. Did you miss song number 9?
No, I combined those.
You included that one together. Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah, I was a bit confused there.
Yeah. Yeah. But I went here, kind of, this next song, Secrets from the Wizard Forest of Forbidden Knowledge, kind of goes back to the death metal style. And there's clean vocals on here, and they feel awkward and out of place on this song.
I did make that note as well. I put there's more variation in terms of the vocals.
Yeah, I was like, why? This just doesn't work.
Okay. But yeah, it's sort of unique to have those sort of a variation in the vocals. Yeah, I think it's a decent song. Yeah, but I guess one of your less favorites, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's probably one of my less favorites on the album. Yeah. Then we kind of go back to Sorcery Through Crystal Eyes in Search of the Devil, which that kind of goes back a summoning style with, I think, a sitar at the end. It kind of sounds like a sitar at the end.
I don't think it is. Dagon is known for being very experimental in his guitar tones and all that. So it's probably just the guitar, although it could be a sitar. But I mean, I don't know. I'd have to listen to it again. But you can achieve all sorts of different effects with all these different guitar pedals and all that. So, but again, I couldn't say for sure. But I just put that it's just a very powerful and fast song. Get that lengthier intro section, which is really nice. This one's definitely darker. I would say moodier and darker sounding than compared to a lot of the other songs. That was just my sort of take on it.
Yep. Then we get to the title track, Veneration of Medieval Mysticism and Cosmological Violence. And I've written here, very doom metal, almost typo negative sounding.
Yeah, it definitely has that slower, doomier type of sound. Again, you get a lot of those arpeggio style riffs. Definitely more bright and upbeat sounding. Definitely has more of a major key vibe here, as do a lot of the other songs. This one definitely reminds me, and I made that note because I noticed that definitely reminds me of a song from, or a few of the songs, in fact, from the previous album. Just for whatever reason, it just is reminiscent of some of the vibes I was getting off of their previous album, but that's just me. That's sort of the feel I was getting. But yeah, definitely slower and doomier sounding. Nice vocal overlays at the outro section. I think it's a pretty good song. Sort of a nice sort of, even though it's not the closing track on the album, but it's still sort of a nice later album or later song.
It is this. Yeah, it is essentially the last actual track because we just get
in effect,
the last track, Lord of Absolute Darkness and Infinite Life, which was just choir and gospel outro to end the album.
Yeah, just to me, it's just like an ambient keyboard-based song. It has a very epic and triumphant type of feel to it, almost like it has this sort of castle type of vibe to it, if that makes any sense. But that's sort of the feel I got from it. Yeah, some interesting sort of vocal type stuff going on there as well. But yeah, just a good closer. Nothing too extravagant or anything, but still a decent song. So what are your overall thoughts on this album?
Overall, my overall thoughts on this. I've written here, I was thoroughly surprised at how many songs I like / are highlights on this album. I've written here at the time, quite possibly might sneak into its way onto my end of year list. And I gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
Okay. So yeah, with this particular album, I mean, I've been a huge fan of this band for many years. I do have all their full-length albums here, so I'm pretty familiar with this band. I was really looking forward to this album because they haven't released an album in about 4 years or so. So I mean, I definitely heard some elements on this album from their previous album. Like I said before, they definitely sort of altered their style somewhat on this album, and you can definitely hear those elements continuing on their most recent album, that being this one right here. But there's still a lot of the classic Inquisition elements. It definitely sounds like an Inquisition album. It's heavy, it's fast. There's, it's dynamic at times. There's definitely variation. I mean, Dagon's vocals are definitely unique and interesting. Incubus is just a solid drummer. Definitely complements Dagon's riffing very good. Dagon, in my opinion, is just a very good songwriter. He writes just excellent riffs that are just very memorable and unique and different. His vocals, his vocal phrasing and how it blends with the riffs, he does a really good job at that. I can tell that he just spends a lot of time writing these songs and arranging them, and he's just a very unique and intelligent person, Dagon. I just think he's one of the better songwriters within black metal. That's just my opinion. I really like this album. It's definitely epic at times. It definitely has more of a kind of like a major key type of feel to it. It's not if you're looking for something like that's really dark and depressive, that kind of black metal. This is not that. This has, I would say, more of an epic, upbeat type of feel. Oftentimes, I mean, there are some moodier type elements, but yeah, this definitely has more of a major key type of feel. Oftentimes, the song structures are very unique and different. There's definitely variation throughout this album in terms of song structure. The songs tend to be fairly short, though. I mean, most of the songs are like 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, whereas their previous albums, they definitely experimented more with some like longer songs. But this album was definitely like throughout, it's definitely tends to be somewhat shorter, the songs. But the
Yeah.
production is fantastic, well mixed, well recorded, and all that. Everything's very audible and clear. Initially, I wasn't entirely sure what to think when I first heard this album because the guitar tone, I wasn't entirely sure. It's got some grit. The guitar tone definitely has some grittiness to it, but I mean, it's still pretty good. It's pretty solid, very well mixed, like I said. Everything's audible and clear, well balanced. So yeah, but it still sounds very natural. I mean, this isn't like some this isn't like some overly processed type of album.
No.
It still sounds very natural, but well mixed and recorded. Yeah, I really like this album quite a bit. I wouldn't say that it's not my favorite album from them, but well, who knows? In time, it may be. There are a few other albums from them I do like more, but I really enjoy this one so much. This is definitely an album I'll continue to listen to for years, I'm sure. And overall, yeah, I mean, if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say about a 9.5.
We're pretty much equal on
Yeah, I
that
really
front.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I guess that is it. I guess.
that's pretty much
See.
it. Yeah, that's the
Yep.
review of Inquisition, Veneration of Medieval
Yep.
Mysticism and Cosmological Violence.
Yes. I know we've been wanting to do this for a
Yeah,
while, but we've had to wait. I've had to wait a month or so for him to be able to get this album. I'm glad we were
yeah.
able to
For me, I
finally.
gotta have the actual physical copy, right?
Yeah,
To me, that's important to me. Like, I just need to have that connection with the actual physical copy. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
I mean, that's just the way I am. Like, I have a pretty extensive collection behind me, right? So,
I mean,
I,
yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I believe that's it. Is there anything you want to, promote? You got anything upcoming that you're gonna be doing on your channel?
yeah, later. Well, so yeah, there will be some pretty cool videos coming within the future, especially in the later half of this year. I got a lot of album ranking videos I plan. I'm going to be doing like album ranking videos for Bork Nagar, Enslaved, Satyricon, Dimmu Borgir, Metallica, Megadeth, Core, and Slipknot. So a bunch of different album ranking videos I'm planning. Another great video I'm going to be doing sometime within the next few months is my top 20 American black metal albums. I'm really looking forward to doing that one. So yeah, so I got some good videos planned, more so in the later half of this year. So look out for that. Otherwise, I've been working really hard on my new album, my new album for Ordo Ab Chao. So I'm recording that right now. That's coming along really well. Hopefully, I can get that album released sometime in the later end of this year. But yeah, still working incredibly hard on that. But yeah, that's basically it. And I want to say thanks for this opportunity, Ryan, to do this review. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
no problem.
looking forward to doing some more reviews with you in the near future.
Hell yeah! I know I definitely think we maybe might do another one, hopefully later this year. I don't know when, but
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
definitely there might be more times we'll definitely
Oh yeah.
review together.
Yes. Looking forward to it. Okay, and yeah, thanks once again. I had a fantastic time here, and
Yeah.
have a good evening. All right. Cheers.
Hey. Later, dude.
Yeah. Take care.
Yeah. I guess before we end all of this, there is some things that are coming up on the channel. I think, well, yeah, obviously there's my multi-topic / hangout live stream Saturday. Tomorrow I'm gonna be with Ben, with where he's gonna in the beginning he's gonna talk about the new Judas Priest, and then after that it's just a hangout. So yeah, I think with that, I think that's gonna do it for us here. So thank you for joining us in the chat, John. And to anybody watching, if you enjoyed it, click the like or the dislike, comment below your thoughts on this album. Even if you didn't listen to it or something like that, which is fine. I think not many people decided to review this album. But let us know what your thoughts are on this. And if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. This has been me and Kina Sword's review of the new Inquisition album. I will see y'all later, and as always, keep things metal.
Take care. Cheers.